Hey, welcome back to the BGX podcast. My name is Phil, as always, and my guest today, all the way from Hamburg, Germany. Welcome to Laia and Sönke from Wonderbow Games. It is great to have you on the program today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yes.
Well, it's my pleasure. I appreciate the time and for joining me. So right off the bat, we've got to talk about your new game, Lost Creatures, that just launched on Kickstarter. How is that going? Tell us a little bit about the launch.
Yeah, well, we've had this game for a very long time already in our little cosmos. So Sönke came up with it, I think, 5 or 6 years ago. But actually, this year we actually said, let's pull the trigger, let's start working on it properly, and let's do the campaign. So we intensively started working on the campaign at the beginning of this year. And it's been really great. We funded in less than 7 hours, and we are now at, I think, over 950 people, which is crazy. Like I've been trying to count like how many people a minute those would be if those were people that would come into a store to get a game. So it's like crazy. It's a lot of people, and this is really cool to see that it's paying off. You know.
Also, what really surprised us, because this is our first game on Kickstarter, and we were really surprised by the community and the support from the community. It's really because we have been doing other businesses and other stuff, you know, and this was really, you know, people always say, yeah, the support by the community was so great and stuff like that. And sometimes it doesn't, you know, it feels a bit like a phrase, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And in this case, it's really honestly like that, you know. We like the reviewers, the feedback they gave us, we beforehand when we gave them the game for playtesting and stuff like that. And the input we got for the rules and all that stuff, people are so nice. It's really, if you do, you know, other jobs, sometimes you tend to think that doesn't really exist like that, and it really does. And that's really a nice thing that makes us really happy and thankful.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, congratulations and funding in 7 hours. I mean, that's an incredible feat, and you know, such a huge step forward, I'm sure, for you guys for the game. So tell us a little bit about Lost Creatures. What is the game? How did you come up with the idea? That kind of thing.
Yeah, well, the basic intention was back then, and I still have kids, and back then my daughter was about 5 and my son 3 years older. And lots of kids games. I mean, there are good kids games. I don't want to say there are no good kids games, but a lot of them are a bit random and a bit, you know, it's not really enjoyable as a father or as an adult to play it with kids, because it's a bit too, you know, just throwing dice and hoping to win at some points, a bit like Monopoly or something. And there are a lot of games like that. And on the other hand, there are some where I personally don't like the aesthetics, you know, because sometimes it feels like sometimes, you know, but sometimes it feels like it's a kid's game. So yeah, come on. There are actually, I don't know if it's a German thing, but there's a relatively big market of kids games that just are, in my opinion, a little ugly. You know, just it's and really cheaply done. You know, it's not much love put in it. It's just a cash grab somehow. And also, from playing the
game mechanics.
Yeah, from the game mechanics, you know, it's a little. If everything is based, you know, on randomness, it's not really fun, and you can't expect too much of a kid. I know that. And with Lost Creatures, I try to make a mechanic that everything is based on your decisions, on our decisions and the decisions of the kids, and it's no dice luck or luck of dice, or how's it called, and no, you know, pulling cards or anything of that. It's just you decide what you do, and they decide what they do, and still you can lose as an adult. So and that actually works, and that's what really makes us happy, because really my daughter, she's still winning most of the time, because it's a bit, you know, if you play too stubborn, you know, my son and we always play the same card, and you only get the creature when you're the only one who plays the card. That's a main core mechanic. It's pretty simple. So you can play it with a 5-year-old, because, you know, you just have to expect, what are the others playing? Are they going for the big thing that gives you 10 points or for the 3 points or whatever? and she was, we were always stubborn trying to take the nice stuff, and that's why she's still winning all the time. And that was the main intention, this making a game that you can play with children or with adults, of course, but also with children, that they can win based on their decisions. Actually, a little bit to make them players later on, to make them better, get them into the hobby a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if you have kids, you always hope you have the third and fourth player in your house.
That's right. Well, yeah, I've got 2 kids right now. One is 4, one is 7 months. So the 7-month-old, he's not going yet, but the 4-month-old is starting to sort of get into board games a little bit. But as you mentioned, a lot of the games that we're playing are, okay, scoop the fish out of the little tray with the fishing pole, and it's like, okay, this is dexterity games are what they are, but that's mostly what games are for kids. It's either just total luck, as you mentioned, where roll the dice or spin the spinner or draw the card, and then maybe you'll win or maybe you won't, and so that's really cool to have a game that kids can play and win. We played Planet over the weekend with my 4-year-old, and great game. He didn't really understand it, but he still liked putting the little tiles onto his planet. And he actually ended up winning a few cards sort of by luck. But, it was obvious, like, I think my wife and I both got in the 30s or 40s for our score, and he got, I think, 6. So, it was kind of obvious, like, okay, this is a little over his head. He still had fun sitting there with us, but, it's cool to have a game that he can participate in and maybe actually win. That's unique. How did you was that your goal from the very beginning, to create a game like that?
Actually, yes. Somehow it was. And normally I would say I'm a person that would come from the theme and then try to develop a nice mechanic or something around that. But in this case, I came from the mechanic actually and tried out different themes on that. Like the very first prototype, it was just colors on cards, and we played it with the kids, and it was already fun. And afterwards I added a little take that element to make it a bit more strategic, and you can hold back cards and you can block kind of your opponent's cards and stuff like that. That wasn't in there in the beginning when she was very young, and you can still leave them out and play it with a 5-year-old. So it's, because take that can be a little, you don't want to be too mean to your kid.
Right. Yeah, we have a few Uno games that have gone off the rails for that reason. They get skipped too many times in a row. They're not very happy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's incredible. So talk to us about Wonderbow Games as a whole. Is you mentioned this is your first game going to Kickstarter. Have you developed other games in the past, or other games that have gone to launch?
This is our first Wonderbow game.
Okay.
Kind of coming out. I have other stuff already in playtesting mode and stuff like that. And before we come from advertising, I have to say.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, but actually it's pretty helpful if you do this. I'm an art director and designer, and I always tended to pitch our clients when they wanted some special ideas. I tended to pitch them like board games. And I made at least 3 in my advertising campaign for clients. Like for a chocolate brand, you could collect points and then you got a card game and stuff like that. That's our first thing, and that's also maybe a reason why we start, with the not too complex game. I think we don't want to overdo our stuff here, and keep it, in a frame that we can overview. And that's how we start. I mean, we have contact with board games longer, but development-wise, I would say it's my fourth to develop and the first to publish.
Yeah, awesome. And I mean, we have our own film production and marketing company, not really on the side. This is the main job. So Wonderbow Games is kind of now starting out from the side, and we just enjoy playing games so much that we at some point thought, okay, as he developed this game 5 years ago, we should actually think if this could be something that we could invest more time in it, and hopefully we will get to make it like our family business one day. So we hope to have own games. We hope to get games from other designers and bring them to Germany, and publish them here in German too. So yeah, let's see where this road takes us.
That's incredible. I mean, and you know, again, starting from sort of a hobby and moving it into a profession, I think that's the dream for a lot of people. If there is somebody out there who's got an idea for a game and they've sort of prototyped it and they like it, but they're not sure if they should go forward or how to go forward, what would your advice be for people like that?
So from a game design perspective,
first I would get feedback from other people, because when you're in your own, I mean, that's obvious, but when you're in your own room, some things seem genius, and when you show it to other people, either they already exist or they are just not working out that good as you might think. So getting feedback, getting in touch with others, just really watch them play it, not being part of it. That's also something that's pretty important, because when you're always into it, they try to, you know, be nice maybe, and you know, just give it to them and see what's happening. And I mean, production wise,
no, I would say also try to get feedback from people that are not your friends or your family, because people tend to just tell you nice things because they like you. But, so you need to get like really objective perspectives on this. And from a production publishing side, I would just suggest just try to get in touch with the community. There are so many ways to get in touch with people, like it's on Facebook, on TikTok, or there are so many groups to just find either other people that can give you advice, or maybe small publishers that can want to join or publish a game, or even bigger publishers. I don't know. So that's really easy to get in touch with people right at the moment, I think.
And actually, I would say take your time. You know, just do it when you want to do it, because it should be something you want to do. And, you know, like Lost Creatures, it's 5 years old, and maybe for the next one, we will be a bit quicker. But anyways, I think it's good that it took so long, and because we even if it's a very simple game, but there are little details that change and rules that change and design-wise stuff that change. Meanwhile, that I think if I would have done it in half a year, some stuff wouldn't be as, you know, finished and polished, you know, some little tiny stuff, you know.
So where are you guys producing the game? Is it going to be made in Germany, or are you importing it?
Yeah, we're gonna print it in Poland. So we wanna like the first. It is going to be a very expensive print run, I must say. So I understand if people want to produce in China, but we didn't want to wait too long, and we wanted to try this out and see how it works producing in Europe. Also, I don't trust container ships at the moment, so I wanted to be able just to jump in a car, drive to Poland, and get the games. So that's what we're actually doing now, and the plan is to actually have them already done by October this year. So it will be a pretty quick turnaround for a Kickstarter.
Right. I mean, that's definitely exciting, I'm sure, for your backers and for people looking at the game, to know they don't have to wait 2.5 years to get the game that they've backed.
Exactly.
And we really want to do it well, because there's so much. You know, in Kickstarter, it's a bit, you know, some games give it a bit of a bad reputation, or not games, but maybe
some projects.
Because, you know, you don't really get what you thought you get, or everything gets just right now, you know, everything gets way more expensive because of this transportation problems. And we really, you know, not only because it's our first one, but we want to get a good reputation, and we don't want to, you know, mess it up, or and actually we want to hold it in our hands too as quickly as possible. And we want to go to Spiel.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Spiel in October.
We want to have it there, so we really are ambitious to get it until then. And it's really good feeling to know we are able to actually drive there, because it's our neighbor country, you know.
Well, I mean that is absolutely incredible, and certainly hope that the print run goes well and no bumps in the road from this point forward for you. If somebody out there wants to get their hands on a copy or wants to support the Kickstarter, where can they find out more about you or Lost Creatures or Wonderbow Games as a whole?
Yeah, so if you want to support a Kickstarter, you can go on Kickstarter and look for Hunters of the Lost Creatures, or you just type lostcreaturesgame.com and we redirected it to the project page, of course. And we're doing a lot of content on TikTok at Wonderbow Games, and we also have an Instagram channel. It's actually Lost Creatures Game there, because we didn't even know that we would have this Wonderbow Games company when we started promoting the game. So everything is kind of developing, but yeah we're very thankful for the community and for everyone who's already following and helping us with everything that's coming up. So yeah, we like the community and we like to give back.
Well, Laia, Sönke, thank you so much for being on the program. Make sure to check out the TikTok channel, the Instagram, and also go and back them on Kickstarter if you're so inclined. Really appreciate you both being on the show today. It was great to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.